You're welcome, sir. Please a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody. It's great pleasure. Can you hear me? Can you hear me really well? It's fantastic to be here. Your Excellency, Mr. President, ably represented by the Vice President, distinguished Governor, Senator Hope, Uzodinma, all other distinguished guests, Prime Ministers, Presidents, ex-Prime Ministers, politicians of all kinds. Governor Hope, you've been too successful in your summit today. I can't recognize everybody. I simply can't. I wouldn't do justice to the stellar cast that you have assembled. But as soon as I was told there was a chance of coming to Imo State, as soon as I was told there was a chance of coming to Owerri, I was so excited. And I wanted to come. And I was very fascinated. This is a true story. 2 days ago, I was in the Gulf. I won't say which city it was, but it was a conference about investment, about global investment. And there were some huge high rollers there, some big players. I'm not saying as rich as some of the people in this room, because there's some very rich people in this room. But there was one particular guy who had tens of billions, many tens of billions of dollars. I was sitting next to him. And he was telling me he had so many homes in Malibu now, he can't even, he has not enough family to put in them. They're empty. He has so many private jets that he flies with 2 jets at a time, wherever he goes. 2 private jets because, one of them might break down or the other one might run out of peanuts in the minibar or whatever. He has 2. Anyway, this guy's astonishingly successful. Brilliant global investor, tens of billions, American. And everybody was listening to what he had to say. Like the scene in Trading Places, you remember when they're all waiting to hear what Eddie Murphy is going to say the next stock. We were waiting to hear what he had to say about the future. And we said, where is the country? And is this serious? We said, where is the country that you regard as the most exciting investment prospect? And he said, is what he said. He said, I tell you what it is. It's going to be overtaking China, because I've been looking at the numbers. It's got the most dynamic population of virtually any country on earth, and the answer is, of course, Nigeria. It's true. It's exactly what he said. And he gave us all, he gave the whole room an astonishing statistic. Do you know this? This year in Nigeria, there are 8 million babies being born, or have been born 8 million babies, exactly the same number as there are born this year in China. Think of that, my friends. Think of what that means for the trajectory of this country. We're talking about phenomenal growth, phenomenal development potential. But I am here to tell you that having children alone is not the answer. My friends, I have 9 children, which is by United Kingdom standards quite a lot, right? A lot. And we're working on it. My wife and I are trying to get to the root cause of the phenomenon. We're having an inquiry into how it all happened. But it's very expensive, and it's economically draining. And so it's very important that you attract investment and that you have an economic vision for the future of the kind that Governor Uzodinma plainly has. And if Nigeria is going to achieve its potential, you are completely right. And if we're going to find jobs for those hundreds of millions of kids, then you're completely right that you have to focus on all the things that we've been rightly talking about this morning. And yeah, well, I think it helps that Nigeria is blessed. This Imo State is blessed with, I think I heard correctly, some of the biggest oil and gas reserves in West Africa. Is that right? Fantastic. You're blessed. And I think it's very good that you have such high levels of literacy. That's a fantastic. Congratulations to everybody involved in that. I've got to tell you, there are parts of Africa, sadly, where female illiteracy is still running at more than 50%, right? But here, Thank you. Congratulations. It's to unleash the potential. I think what the former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said was completely right. To unleash the potential of this whole continent. Every girl in Africa has got to get access to the same education as every boy. Number one. It helps, by the way, that you have the rule of law. The rule of law. I want you to know that when I decided to come to Owerri, I read some stuff, and there were people who were saying, there were maybe some security problems in Nigeria. Have you heard that? And I said, well, I'm going to go anyway. And let me ask you, do you feel safe today here at the Carnival Conference? Yes, we all feel safe, don't we? I feel perfectly safe. Thank you, Governor Ho, for what you're doing. The rule of law, safety on the street, absolutely critical. Infrastructure. I was so interested in what you had to say about dredging the river, the roads. The airport was fantastic, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. But your focus on electricity is completely right. What is the future? It is AI. It's going to be AI. It's artificial intelligence, and the demand for clean, sustainable electricity because of AI is going to be colossal. And so I congratulate you on what you're doing to get clean, sustainable energy for Imo State and for the whole of Nigeria. And I hope, by the way, very much that British firms will see the opportunity here, as the Mauritian former president rightly identified. It's a very, very important opportunity. But there are, of course, some things where Nigeria and the Imo State actually in particular have a head start. That's the sheer entrepreneurial flair of the population, which is famous around the whole world. And then there's a final ingredient. I'm going to be very, very brief, but I think we all know what you all know what I'm going to say. And there's a final thing that I think helps Nigeria, and indeed greatly helps my own country. And I saw the legacy this morning in my hotel in Lagos when I had to try to plug in my laptop, because you have the same plugs, the 3-point British plug, which is a legacy of our former relationship. And of course you have the language. I will say nothing of those former colonies of France, but it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful that here in Nigeria we are united. We have this huge blessing of ties of history and language, and woven together constantly by the toing and froing of brilliant Nigerians to my country and back again, and British people coming to Nigeria. And of course, look, I'm proud, very proud, of what we export to Nigeria. We send you pharmaceuticals and bankers and services of all kinds, automotive parts, all sorts of things. We send whiskey, huge quantities of whiskey, probably more popular somewhere than another. And you send us so much in return. Oil and gas, Nollywood movies, brilliant doctors, nurses, technicians, tech geniuses from Nigeria come to the UK, and we're very grateful. We're very, very, very grateful and honoured. And we send you, former United Kingdom Prime Ministers, and you send us, future United Kingdom Prime Ministers, in the form of Kemi Badenoch, who comes from Nigeria and is doing better and better these days. And I think the greatest hope that we have, and not just the exports or the imports, it's the things that we actually do together, the things that we do in partnership. And there's just so much. A Nigerian singer who stole the show in the recent coronation of our king, the Nigerian football players who have millions, if not billions, of fans in the Premier League and who have admirers around the world. Nigerian artists, there's a huge Nigerian show on right now at Tate Modern. Anglo-Nigerian films that are being nominated for the Oscars. And of course, the famous, I've tried it myself, in Lagos, there's a famous Nigerian brand of Guinness. You know what I mean by Guinness? But there's a Nigerian Guinness brewed here in Lagos. I drank a lot of it, and it was a great mistake because it's about twice or three times the strength of normal Guinness. Did you know that? It's unbelievable. And when you wake up in the morning after a night of Nigerian Guinness, it feels like you've been hit by Anthony Joshua, whose punch, ladies and gentlemen, is, as the good book says, one of those things that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And you have a terrible sense of the power of this Anglo-Nigerian brand. And think of it, I think Anthony Joshua's success, his strength, his power, that symbolizes for me what I mean by Anglo-Nigerian achievement. He's not Nigerian, he's not British, he's both. And he's the best in the world. And that's an absolutely fantastic testament, to my mind, of what our partnership can achieve. So look, folks, I look at this wonderful conference, this summit, and I see the energy in the room, I feel it, and I know it's going to be a tremendous, tremendous success. Investment makes opportunity. IMO. In my opinion, IMO. In my opinion, the Imo state has an absolutely fantastic future. And I think that Nigeria's great days lie ahead of it. The Imo state's great days lie ahead of it. And I think the great days of the historic friendship, partnership, love affair between Britain and Nigeria also lie ahead of us. Thank you all very, very much for the kindness you've done me in inviting me along today, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your summit. And you may now play your vuvuzelas, or whatever it was that I heard earlier on. Thank you.